Hey there, guys. Welcome to lesson 2 from our first unit in pre-algebra. In this video, we're going to be talking about some vocabulary, and then we're going to be talking about what to do with some things and kind of a certain problem type that you're going to see a lot in this course and in courses to come. So we're going to talk about a few vocabulary words. So let's dive right in. Okay. So the first vocabulary word that we're going to talk about is the word variable. I bet you've heard this word, and if you haven't, that's okay. That's why we're talking about it. So what is a variable? A variable, simply put, is a letter that represents a number. We'll go ahead and put that as a definition in our notes. So it's a letter which represents a number. If you're talking about something like programming or something, it could represent not just a number, but it could actually represent words or other things. But for our purposes, a variable, a variable is a letter which represents a number. We can use all kinds of letters. We can use A through Z. We even sometimes use Greek letters. In some of my classes, especially my middle school classes, I like to throw in symbols and throw in a cake or a star or whatever. But basically, for our purposes, and simply put, it is a letter which represents a number. The most common, the grandpappy of variables, if you will, is X, right? When we start throwing letters in math, that's when it gets hard. Well, hopefully we're going to learn as we go that it's not actually that hard. We see things like X, we see things like Y, we see things like Z. Like I said, we might see things like Greek letters. We might see a theta. We might see a delta. Who knows what. There's all kinds of letters that you can represent. It's basically an unknown quantity, right? So the next thing we're going to talk about, next thing we're going to define is an expression. You probably saw and wrote down the title, that the title of this lesson is variables and expressions. So it makes sense that the next word we're going to define is expressions. So what is an expression? An expression is a math sentence. I'm going to put this in quotes because it's not really a sentence, but it's a good way to think about it so that we can understand it better, right? It's a math sentence, and we'll explain in a minute, with let's see, we're going to define it with, go back in my notes over here, one or more term. Now, what is a term? Okay, so for our purposes, a term is numbers and variables multiplied together or divided together, right? So something like 3x could be a term. And we could add another term like 2. A term can be just a number. So we can subtract 4yz. So all of this whole thing is one term. So it's the stuff that's multiplied together. So we can add up a bunch of terms. So see, this expression has 1, 2, 3 terms in it. That's a mess. That's bugging me. Let's kill that off of there. Kill it stone dead. Kill that. Okay, undo maybe. A little more silly than necessary. All of those things are terms, and all an expression is this. So it's a math sentence that has terms in it, has letters and numbers and all these kind of things. Now we're going to learn really soon about an equation. An equation is different from expression because it's got an equals in it. There's a little preview, a little taste of the future. So what can we do with algebraic expressions? Well, we can use something called the substitution property. Substitution. property. And this is going to be the meat of the types of problems using this property. Property. We're not going to write a long definition for the substitution property because we don't need one. We're going to use it in some examples. I think the easiest way to understand the substitution property at this level and this part of what we're doing is by throwing it into some examples. So let's jump straight into some examples. Okay. So what we're going to do is for example 1, we're going to evaluate D plus 5 minus F if D equals 16 and F equals 18. So what are we going to do with those things? We're going to take those things and we're going to substitute them. Hence the substitution property. Sometimes math, just makes sense. I'm going to go ahead and rewrite these pieces of this puzzle outside of this word problem, kind of miniature word problem, so that we can kind of draw on them and make some things make more sense. So our expression is D plus 5 minus F. So that's an algebraic expression. And then we have a couple of miniature equations over here. I'm going to put these in 2 different colors so we can see what's happening. So D equals 16. And then over here we'll do it in green. F equals 18. So what are we going to do? How are we going to use those? Well, like the title of the property says, we're going to take and we're going to substitute them. So we're going to substitute, I don't want to use that color for that. I'm going to substitute this 16 right here, and I'm going to put it over here where the D is. So where the D is, I'm going to write a 16 instead. When I do substitution on math problems, it's on some of these early ones, it's not as big a deal, but I really like to, and I really strongly recommend you do this as well. And if you're one of my students, then I am telling you, you need to do this. And that's whenever we substitute something in, we're going to put it in parentheses. The reason, in case you're wondering why already, if you're a why asker, which is great if you are, the reason why we do that ultimately is because of positives and negatives. It can just get us in a better habit. So whenever we substitute, we're going to do parentheses where we substituted it. Okay. So now we're going to take this 18 and we're going to stick him in where the F is, right? So inside parentheses, we're going to put 18. Now, the astute among you and those of you who have practiced this since early grades may already realize, oh, well, those parentheses are kind of useless. On this problem, yeah, they kind of are. It's just a good habit to get into. Some of the things we do early at this point in math are things that we do in order to help us prepare for the future and to get good habits now. So this is what I want you to do if you're in my class. And if you're not, I recommend doing it that way. So we've got an order of operations thing. We're going to do but it's all addition subtraction. So how do we decide what to do first? Remember, we do it from left to right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the 16 plus 5. What is 16 plus 5? Well, it's 21. We're going to bring down what we haven't touched. We're going to bring down minus 18. And then we've only got one thing left to do to simplify this on out. It's 21 minus 18 is 3. So the answer to this example is 3. Easy peasy, right? No big deal. Okay, so let's do another type. And this is really the same thing. It's just kind of a different way to word the instructions. Let me set this up for example number 2. Example number 2. In a minute, but I actually don't want to write that yet. So just example number 2. So for these, you might have like a whole stack of problems, and it may say something like evaluate each expression if R equals 1, S equals 5, and T equals 8. Okay. And so 2A, our first expression we're going to use that information with is 6S plus 2T. I'll do a little color coding up here. Let's say this one's red, and this one's green, and this one is this blue color. How's that sound? Right? So what we're going to do is we're going to, like I said, I want to, when I do substitution, I want to put it inside of parentheses. So we're going to kind of do that in a different order. A good way to do it is to rewrite the expression with parentheses everywhere where you see a variable. So instead of an S, we're going to write parentheses, and we're going to put plus 2 and then parentheses. And then I bet you can guess what we're going to do next. Heck, if this was Dora the Explorer, I'd say, what? Where is? I don't know. I've never watched the show. Never mind. I'm not even going to try. I thought I was going to be clever, but probably just showing past my age. I don't know. Something. Anyway, so here, this parentheses stands for S. You see how I've got it lined up, and I can tell real easily? So instead of that S, what we're going to do is we're going to put a 5, because up here with S equals 5. And then over here, we've got a T, right? And T equals 8. So instead of a T, we're going to put an 8 in there. Now we got something that's easy to deal with. Now remember, we've got a number next to parentheses, which means times. We've got two multiplication things, and we've got an addition thing. We do multiplication, division first, then addition, subtraction. So we're going to do this multiplication first. This one right here. So we're going to do 6 times 5, which is 30. And then we're going to bring down 2 times 8. And then we're going to do this one. What's 2 times 8? 2 times 8, 16. So we've got 30 plus 16. 30 plus 16 is 46. There we go. So example 2B, we're going to look at a different expression. This expression is going to be ST over 20. Okay. So we're going to rewrite our expression with parentheses everywhere there's variables. Okay. So we're going to put parentheses right here, and then parentheses right here. So see, we've got parentheses for the S and parentheses for the T. Excuse me. And then we're going to put that over 20. And then we're going to fill it in. So the S is 5. And then the T is 8. So remember, from our order of operations, we got to deal with the numerators and the denominators first before we can stick them together. So the first thing we got to do is we've got to do 5 times 8. So what's 5 times 8? Well, it's 40. And then that's still over 20. And I'm going to put this sideways because I'm going to try to squeeze one more on this page. I'm kind of running tight on room, but we're going to see what we can do. I may regret my life choices, but we're going to take care of it. So 40 divided by 20 is 2. So the answer to 2B is 2. So we're going to do one more, and then we're going to call it quits for this video. So 2C, I'm going to kind of add me a little dashed line so I can see clearly because I'm kind of squeezing it. I know it's a bad idea, but I'm trying to keep all this. Since I've got all my information on this page, I'm trying to help you out. If I was doing it on a page, I would spread it out more, like on a paper. But we're gonna kind of sneak, but we're going to try our best to keep it organized by adding a little bit of organization to the tightness. So what we're going to do is R plus 40 minus 3t. But the 40 minus 3t, we're going to put inside of parentheses. So 40 minus 3t. So we're going to, first step is we're going to rewrite the expression with parentheses everywhere where there are variables. So we're going to put parentheses where this r is, and we're going to put plus. We're going to put this parentheses. Then we're going to put a 40 minus 3, and then we're going to put parentheses where the t is, and then we've got to also bring down that parentheses out there. So we've got some nested parentheses. We've got parentheses inside of parentheses. It's going to be okay. It's not going to be that bad. Take a deep breath. We got this. We got this easy. So r, what are we going to sub in for r? Well, it says r is 1. So we're going to put 1 where the r goes. And then t, we got a t's, we got the blue thing, and t is 8, so we're going to put a 8 where the t goes. Now, for this guy, move my mic so I can see this problem. For this guy, we've got to do parentheses first. That'd be our order of operations. So inside the parentheses, we've got a multiplication, because multiplication division comes before addition subtraction. So 3 times 8 is 24. We're going to bring down everything we haven't touched. So this is that parentheses right there. Bring down our minus. Don't forget it. Bring down our 40. Bring down this parentheses. Now this parentheses over here, there's nothing times or anything, so we can actually drop that parentheses and it's going to be okay. So plus 1 over here. Now we got to finish dealing with inside our grouping symbols right inside the parentheses. So 40 minus 24 is, of course, 16. All right, so this turns into 16. Let me underline what I did. It probably is really obvious, but I'm trying to make these files easy to read later. All right, so I'm going to bring down my plus. Whoa, why did I do that? We don't want no blue. Blue is t. That'd be confusing. Plus 1. And then 1 plus 16 is 17. So those are really, really straightforward. Now, for those of you who are my students, check the assignment pages and things for your homework assignments. For those of you who are not my students, thank you for watching. Hope this video was helpful. Drop comments down in the comments below. Remember that these videos and these entire lectures we are offering for free for you guys. So it would really help us, and we would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button and drop us a like and even comment on these videos so we can know you're here. And if you have any questions or anything to go with, thank you guys and have a great day. Adios.